children. We have the sexual abuse kids. We have the infants who, you know, for whatever reason, the parents didn't understand their cries, and instead of trying to console them, hurt them. We have the children whose parents didn't understand that, you know, they need to eat a certain number of meals a day in order to gain weight. So we have these failure to thrive children who are really malnourished and tiny. And we have the children who have some brain damage due to the fact that their parent or their caretaker was abusive to them.
When I was younger, the sexual abuse had happened to my sister. And when we were coming back into home to reunite with our family, I said that I wasn't comfortable and I didn't want to deal with it. And everybody looked at me and said it didn't matter. And then I became a victim of sexual abuse myself.
There is a death of innocence when certain things happen to a child, and part of innocence is the ability to fantasize and to dream and to believe, you know, in princesses and dragons and, you know, knights in shining armor. And a lot of that does die when a child has been abused and neglected, sexual abuse. It really has a profound effect on a child.
There is a tendency not to want to talk about abuse. There's no doubt about it. And a lot of times I will be talking even with family members, and they prefer not to get into it too much. They know it goes on. I think you can point out to them that it is a reality, that, that this type of thing happens, and somebody's got to deal with it.
I'm an advocate for children. They need a voice, and I'm that voice. They can't always speak, and they're not always listened to in the court system and in their family structure and with their therapists and their counselors and their social workers. And I'm that one person that says, no, this child is going to be heard.
It's nice to have somebody outside of that who can say, look, I have nothing to do with what brought you here. I have nothing to do with the agency. I'm here for you. And kids need to hear that because their needs and their wants obviously have gone unheard.
For most children, they see someone who cares, who listens, and who doesn't judge. And that's, I think, essential.
I've seen them sit next to him in the courtroom. I've seen children look to the CASA worker, not their mother or father, when the testimony is being provided, and to garner strength from that connection with that worker, and to be able to get up there and to describe the horrendous acts that have been committed against them. So they're definitely a source of courage, of stability, and a source of strength, I think, for these children.
You have to be willing to think of that child as like a rock, and you're the little drip of water, and you won't be able to measure how much of an impact you're having until that little drip of water drips 1,000, 10,000 times. You know, that you really, I mean, eventually the water will wear away the stone, and there'll be a little, you know, a little bit of an impression, and then even a deeper impression, but you have to have the patience to be water on stone.
I'm very hands-on, and I'm very maternal. I have a real maternal instinct when it comes to children, and I think because I love children so much, you know, I'm very protective. So I tend to be very involved. You know, I do a lot of calling, I do a lot of visiting. Home visits are really important because you really get a chance to see what's going on just by visiting the home.
I mean, frankly, you do get a lot of satisfaction seeing a difficult situation resolved in the best interest of the child. And if the parents and the family are an intact unit when you're done, you really served a purpose.
Their biggest reward, I think, comes from knowing that these children's lives will permanently and forever be positively impacted by the work that they've done.
I think if there were no CASAs, a lot of children would fall through the cracks. A lot of children would fall through the cracks.
I can't imagine having to handle the amount of abuse and neglect cases that we do without having a CASA as a resource. They're just that invaluable.
The judge called me out by name and he said, you know, Leanne, thank you so much. I really value your report and it's made a lot on my decision. To know that the decision was made by the judge based on what I really felt was right for the kids was absolutely amazing. You know, I made a difference and I knew that.
I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that when a child is given an opportunity to be in a loving, caring, supportive home, that children are resilient in the sense that they can rebuild.
We know as human beings some of our greatest, most powerful work in the world is taking what is so hard to comprehend as a human being and turning it into something beautiful. And that's what I see, the CASA worker and other people who work in this field being able to do.